Hey you, so on this video, 500 ounces of silver and 6 ounces of gold is all I wanted. I'm going to be talking about what I had initially set out to purchase in precious metals. An individual had recently asked me how much I thought of both metals was an acceptable good amount. Now, of course, out there you're going to find many varied answers, so it'd be fantastic to hear what you guys think, how much silver is worth holding for your average individual and how much gold. But I'm going to give my answer on that and just touch upon why I ended up where I am with so much more metal. So I've got 6 ounces of gold in the background there, the middle obviously being a 2 ounce, and the rest are some Rwandan coins, and I've got 500 ounces of silver. Now, when we're talking about silver, given my off the top of the head answer, it'd be more of like a standard answer you may have heard out there, but I'm going to say 500 ounces of silver was what I initially set out to purchase. It was my comfort zone when I'd just started doing my own research into metals. Why it was this round figure here is because, as you see, it comes within the Monster box. So in the Monster box, Master box or Monster box, depending on where you're purchasing from, you're going to have it labelled as the largest amount you can purchase in one go. That's going to come packaged and packed up, and you know, with a sweet little bow tie on top from the mint. So that's going to be 500 ounces. So no matter what your level is when you're stacking, it's, when you're asking me, it's definitely achievable, but I think you limit yourself when you set a limit. Now, it's all going to be depending on your outlook on the actual metals themselves. Like I said, when I first got in, I just wanted to have a position in metals. You know, I'd done a bit of research back in the days. I'd owned an ounce of gold, then I started looking more into it, discovered silver, seen all the possibilities there, and went for the safest bet, and that was just to go ahead and get a Monster box. I actually purchased an American Eagle box first. I'd asked the dealer for the best silver coin, and basically asked what's the best silver coin you could own and the best silver coin to have, and they told me the American Eagle. Now, they didn't exactly give me incorrect information. I was asking the wrong question. What I should have been asking was the best coin for my current situation and my location, and then I would have got these. But more research, I was able to trade that box back out and get a box of Britannias at a time. So more research into it led me to go and do a few other things. Now I'll touch on the other things that I went on to do. But for me, as I said, with the silver, it was achievable with the funds I just came into. It was just going to stop there. So I'd have one Monster box once I'd figured it out. I found the name catchy, so some say Master. I don't know which one's either the Canadian Mint and Master box or a Monster box, but having one of those was more than enough for me. And it gave me a fantastic position, I believed, when I was getting in. Now, if I was with the mindset now, I'd say if you're giving anybody any type of advice, the best advice to give is going to be whatever your budget will allow. So, you know, it's pointless. Don't murder yourself over it, because I've been speaking with a few individuals that have savings and are considering diverting more of their savings into metals. So I would say this, and it's what I've seen with my own personal life with a lot of stackers: if you have the savings and the funds, and you know you're not going to need to tap into them absolutely no time soon, well then go do a bit more research into it. But I went with the silver. What I'm seeing is when individuals are liquidating for whichever reasons that they see fit, they're having more problems liquidating their silver for whichever reasons, whether it's the premiums or just what they have and the like. So you're always going to hear gold's a lot more portable and easier to liquidate. But I have no intentions of liquidating a large bulk of my silver, so that's never going to be a problem for me. I feel if the same individuals knew that or went in with that same mindset in the beginning, because I believe they went in on a long-term mindset, and for whichever reason I've had to sell, for whichever reasons they know, and I've experienced those problems, I intend to only sell once it does something, as I've mentioned before, when we get an economy crash, a currency crash, or devaluation, or a fantastic spring up and rocketing of the prices. That's when I intend to sell. Anything before then, I'm not concerned about or interested about. It was for the long haul with me on my silver. You never know what's going to come across, and this one I was conversating with the individual. If you have these savings and you know that you will not need to tamper with those savings whatsoever for minimum, as I've mentioned before, 10 years, then go ahead and try and see what you can put in with the silver, and obviously get a portion of gold. My feelings on gold was, when I was purchasing, I'd purchased a monster box, then I was doing more research, conversating with some dealers, then I decided to, you know, dip my foot in and go a bit more. If I would have known what I know now, I believe the spot price on gold and pound sterling around there was around the £700 mark, I would have purchased more gold. It was more heavily focused on silver. I'm still very happy because I was able to capitalize on a lower price on one over the other. I still did purchase gold, but not as much as I would have purchased now. Now I'm seeing where the spot price is. Getting in, you want to pick your metal, and of course diverse. I would say get a bit of both. Pick your own ratio, whether it's 50-50, 60-40, whatever you want to do, whatever you feel comfortable with. As I've mentioned in the past, I believe the greatest investment opportunities are going to be with silver, and that's where I pump the majority of my metals. But I'm getting more gold now, whereas I'm picking up more of these exclusive designer pieces with intentions of flipping them and turning this into free Britannias, or, you know, Queen's Beast coin, or the Royal Mint Lunar coin. So, but I've also mentioned in the past, I have got a little carried away with my gold, and I've got, I'd say, a lot more, not 50-50 in collector coins than in foundation, but it will adjust itself in time. But, you know, you just need to find the right pick for you. Now, what went on for me to increase, and why it was what I initially only wanted, as I mentioned with the silver, it was a master box / monster box. It came encased. It was the biggest you can get in one nice presentation package from whichever deal you're going from. So that's what I'd aimed for. With gold, I wanted to get roughly around the same price, 50-50 in gold, that I did with silver. So it was around 6, give or take, you could say 7 ounces of gold at the time, so 6 ounces. And that was me. When I went on to do more, was a few things came out and pointing themselves out to me. It was, as I was looking into what I had against what other luxuries / investments I had, I realized not only were they worth nothing, but when a bad situation would have came across, they would technically be useless to me. So that's what led me to do one of the first big moves I done. Is I started converting other luxury watches that I owned. I started converting back into metals, pieces of art that I'd owned that I'd wanted to hold on for the long term, that I could liquidate there and then. I started converting into metals and electricals. For instance, I had a big fancy laptop. I started being my own finance manager, realizing whatever I was doing on that laptop, I could capitalize and squeeze some pennies out. This is something that would have, if I'd still owned the thing now, would be worth a fraction of the price. So I started being a lot more strict and disciplined with my spending, and putting other things into metals, and then just doing that. And obviously the more research you do, depending on your output and input, you may go on to either pump the pedal, you know, or, you know, pump the brakes. And I just went on full throttle and started taking things out of other assets and putting them into metals. Another thing that was rather unsettling for me was people's comfort in the wrong luxuries or assets. For instance, when I purchased even my first 500 coins, close individuals around me that knew, we're talking to a handful of people here, were concerned, you know. But if, for instance, if I was to lease a car for £30,000, I don't know, $50,000, they wouldn't bat an eyelid at that, because it was natural, it was normal. If I was to have a large amount of funds sitting in the bank, maybe in a savings account, or just sitting in any type of account, they wouldn't bat an eyelid at that. But when I had mentioned I was going to get into metals, it was their unsettling and their fear. So it was people's comforts. Now, these same individuals, I'd ask them why they had so much confidence in the system, and they couldn't tell me why. That was what was very unsettling for me. Now, I'm not going to sit there and talk and debate with them, but a lot of people don't even know why they have faith in the system. That was scary, because I'm doing more research into just fiat and currency and metals itself. You realize a lot of people, these individuals that are unaware, are the ones that are absolutely going to get wiped out. You know, they have faith in the system and can't tell you why. So that was unsettling. Another thing was just the more and more research I'd done, I felt more and more confident in the long run, and that's what ended up me diverting a lot more funds that would have technically been put back into another property, just all into metals. So a bit of a long-winded answer, but to answer the question, if you want to feel comfortable putting as much as you want to put of us, put a number or size on it. I went for 500 ounces and 6 ounces of gold, but in the end of the day, it's going to be whatever your budget will allow you to do. And I would say whatever you're going to be comfortable holding on to the long term with. If you're going to have any type of business venture coming in, you're going to have to tap into the funds. If you don't know whether you may need to tap back into it, if it was funds that you was going to be put into some type of account for you to tap into at an earlier date, you may want to go down the pure gold route. I'd put a number on it, even though I shouldn't, and say if you're going to need the funds 50-50 within the next 3 years, you may want to look into gold and pick that up in any size or, you know, any quantity you want. But if you can go more for the long term, as I can with no problems, then you want to be looking at the silver. But it's going to be whatever you're comfortable with on both of these metals. But straight off the bat, this is all I really wanted: 6 ounces of gold and 500 ounces of silver. So it'd be fantastic to know what you guys think is more than enough metals to own, whether it be silver or gold. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Hate or love it, let me know what you think of this video. Don't forget to come and follow me on the other platforms that I've left in the description, and I'll catch you guys on the rebound.